First coming in is Morgan Schuler. First coming in is Morgan Schuler. And next is Walker Bissell.
Well, good morning, everybody, and certainly a pleasure to join you here today. We've got a beautiful morning here to kick us off in the hog show. Awesome first class of breeding yolks we get started with here. We start with the young lady's blue-eyed yoke on the far side. I think that's one that meets the surface rather handily in this first class. That's the balance yoke that has the extras in terms of extension through the front third of her body, opened up in terms of her rib cage. Love the view she offers as she drives right at you. That's the boldest chested yoke. That's the most comfortable in terms of her movement pattern. Very nice place here to start off. Congratulations. We're going to enter the second in this class with the Delta yoke. It's got one that's maybe just a bit more bunched up in terms of her muscle pattern, specifically through the rear third of her body. She wants to knuckle up a bit more in terms of her rear step. She doesn't want to just blend and tie together just quite as efficiently as what our class winner did when we begin to study her through her hand one junction there. Still a nice yoke that offers us some body, offers us some feature. Just need to redesign her in terms of a balance perspective to move her up any higher. Congratulations.
Morgan Schuler got first, second went Walker Bissell. The second class of breeding yoke is Allie Burt at 242 and Morgan Schuler at 248.
See, I had to turn it down up here, that's why I was getting so much feedback. I mean, yeah, you can try and put the two together now. I just told you both.
In our second class, we have to start with the young lady directly here in front of me. That's the yoke that has the advantage just in terms of body and internal capacity. You saw her through the top side of her rib cage. She matches the power she's got up high with the kind of feel she's got working down low. She's the boldest and squarest off either end of her skeleton when we study coming and going. Very fresh in terms of her presentation, capably driven. Very nice yoke here to start us off. Young lady's got another very nice yoke. In any other class, I'm sure would maybe be the one that we can land on. We can pair her back against our class winner, where the skills be more one-dimensional in terms of her body shape. I didn't bring her to be just as crisp or fresh in terms of her muscle shape up high as she drives at us. That's what sorts the pair in this initial class. I need to see her open up a bit wider through her chest cavity. I need to see her open up a bit wider through her chest cavity to maintain that kind of width of the surface so that we can pair her back against that class winner. Congratulations on a nice second class.
In that class, we had Allie with the blue. And second was Morgan Walker with the blue.
Ada Lund, and Levi Fitzgerald.
For me is going to be the young lady on the far side with the Belgic heel. That's the class leader just in terms of totals, in terms of balance, and yet still offering extras. The boldest body, the heaviest strip, the biggest hip, coupled with the heaviest feature and the most comfortable movement pattern. Young lady's got an easy class winner here in a very good class. Young man on the far side is going to be our second place individual. Love the look and pattern of this one. Paints the picture off to the side. Very fresh, very highly presented in terms of her muscle pattern. It's when I get right on top of her, I need to see her open up just a bit more through her heart. She becomes the flatter body gilt in terms of her rib shape when we compare her back against our class winner. I didn't rate her to be just as heavy in terms of her front foot as what we found there, but a very interesting gilt there to go second. Young man with our other belted gilt is going to be third in this class, and a very basic type of gilt, and I don't say that as a negative connotation. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. One that certainly looks like she's got some bright future as a brood sow on down the road. I rate her to be maybe just a bit more over-conditioned in terms of her feel. I rate her to be just a shot staler in terms of her muscle and how she ties into her neck, specifically when we begin to study the shape of her crest and just the flesh that she's able to pack around her jawline. I need to see that gilt freshen up in terms of muscle, maybe pull just a little bit more fill off of her to compete with a highly competitive pair there in front of it. Very good Berkshire representative here that's going to round us out. When we compare her back against the two above her, I need to redesign her in terms of her knee. She wants to become maybe just a bit more closed up in terms of her chest cavity. She's a bit more hesitant than the gilts we find above her in terms of her rear step. Wants to maybe just drive a bit more restricted in how she handles her hip, specifically when we study the left side of her body. Congratulations on a nice class here to round us out.
That tag number ended in 3
In that last class,
So I think we got
number 6, the first, Ada Lund got first. Dustin Schuler got second. Levi Fitzgerald got third. Ada Lund got fourth, and they all got a blue. Next we're starting our individual market class. Oops, not yet.
Well, if you will, please, let's go ahead and congratulate all your class winners here in our breeding gilt division. Very, very good. And I know it's probably a cliche thing to say, but you take some of these Iowa County fairs, you accept to judge them, never quite know what you're going to get to come through. For what we've seen so far, you guys are highly commendable in terms of your presentations, showmanship, skin and hair. You guys have got it going on over in Adams County. And 3 very good class winners here. I think it becomes a bit closer between our top pair. For me, there's one that's just broader in terms of their body cavity, still fresh in terms of their muscle, and yet stouter about their skull and jawline. Our young lady out of the last class will have her champion. Drop that second place out of the young man's there. And like we talked there in that particular class, a very interesting gilt there off to the side. Maybe one that we wish we could just soften and throw just a bit more rib and center body into today. Another one that I think gets awfully close to that champion there. If we can stouten that one up a bit in terms of her face, if we can open her up a bit more on the top side of her shoulders, specifically when we get in right behind her blade there, I think we can make that top pair just a shot more competitive. Nonetheless, that's a very good gilt. Our young lady there out of the middle class will be your reserve.
So that was your breeding class. Reserve champion went to Allie Bird. Grand champion breeding gilt went to Ada Lund. Now we're going to start our Individuals, class of 1 was Walker Bissell, 181, and Hudson Bissell, 185.
You can try.
Supposed to be bringing me and Holly. Oh, it didn't even open yet. Darn it. Huh? Well, they don't open till 7:30, so I was like, oh. Brother first, brother. No, wait.
Some of our banner sponsors are Champion Swine Pin 3, First National Bank, Reserve Champion Pin 3, Nutrient Ag Solution,
Nice way to get started in our first class of the Market Hog Show. The young man here in front of me is going to go ahead and lead us off in that class. A lot of parts and pieces of that hog that I can really get behind, specifically as she drives at us. Very square, very opened up through her chest cavity, maintains that squareness and comfort to the ground. Off to the side is an elevated hog that's sharp in its jawline, great in its look, and still fresh in its muscle pattern for this stage of the game. Very nice place here to lead us off within this particular class. Our young man here that's got our other belted market gilt here has got a nice one that's performed well in terms of converting mass to muscle, in terms of having some flesh, having some look ahead of their shoulder. I need to make that one a bit more comfortable in terms of its hock set and its hind leg. I need to pick him up just a bit more in terms of his front foot pastern set there. Nice class. Go ahead and put your hands together for those two young individuals.
We got first place going to Walker Bissell with the blue, and second going to Hudson Bissell. We're now ready for class 2, individual market. Dana Stormer, Ada Lund. Dana Stormer has another pig, and Hudson Bissell. First coming in, we have Ada Lund. Dana Stormer. And Hudson Bissell. Other banner sponsors that we have is
Dana's first one.
Blue Horizon Stock Farms, Nutrien Ag Solutions, Gavilon Farmers Co-op, Nutrien Ag Solutions again, Peter's Grain and Supply. We'd like to thank all of these sponsors. We wouldn't be able to have these shows if we didn't have our sponsors.
The young lady on the far side's got a very nice barrow here to lead us off in this class. Very opened up and proportional. He's got what we're looking for in terms of a market hog show, from the shape to he's got to his muscle to the spread and power he's got down low. Awesome skin and hair, great look. Very nice place here to start. A trio of barrows here that are interesting to study and fun to sort the differences amongst them. I'll have to go with the young ladies here to be our second place in this class. I read that hog just to have a greater potential there, or a greater capacity in terms of muscle, working within his skeleton there. He's the shorter bodied, more moderate framed hog of the lower trio here that offers us the most in terms of just body, in terms of feedability. He's the most opened up in terms of his lower skeleton there as well. Our young man with the blue speckled one's going to be our next in class here in this particular setting. I didn't read that one to be just as opened up in terms of his lower skeleton. He wants to become just a bit narrower in terms of his base. I reckon him to be just a bit drier in terms of his upper body than what we found in the one above him. I think a good hog there that's maybe got an advantage over just a lean muscle ratio versus our second place. I just got to see him come with the power and product to match that. Another similar story here. Young man's doing a nice job getting that one shown. A hog here that's maybe just the framier hog, I guess, if you will. He's the bigger outline, bigger bodied hog. We don't find him to compensate with just as much power, just as much body as those ones we found above him. Congratulations.
Results of the results of that class: Ada Lund. Second place will go to Dana Stormer. Third place also goes to Dana Stormer with their second pig. Fourth place to Hudson Bissell, all with blue ribbons. Okay, coming into the next class, we're going to have Walker Bissell, Ada Lund, and Allie Burt. Our judge today is Dre Cook. He comes to us from Humiston, Iowa.
Competitive top pair here. Very fun to sort the differences between. Our young lady on the far side is going to go ahead and lead us off in this particular class. That's a taller shoulder, bigger bodied, just surer footed type of bearer here to lead us off. He's the squarest hog in terms of his hind leg set. He's the most comfortable when we begin to set him in motion, yet he's still powerful. He packs a punch in terms of his blade, in terms of his internal dimension there. Very big hind leg coupled with very good joint work there. Nice place to start us off here. Love the presentation, love the added muscle that the young lady's got, and she has the advantage just in terms of raw shape and freshness on the top side of that one skeleton. So when I step in behind that one, I just simply can't get myself around how that one's hock is shaped. I need to bring it back in and rein it in from a squareness perspective. Past that, the front 2/3 of that gilt I think are very, very good. I just got to see that hind leg just fix and hinge just a little bit different to move her up any higher. A good hog here that just gets outpowered in terms of his upper rib, in terms of his lower body lines there. I reckon him to be the most restricted of our initial trio in terms of his range of motion. He becomes a bit straighter in terms of the set to his knee. He becomes a bit more limited in terms of the range out of his hip there when we begin to put him in motion. Congratulations on a nice class here.
All right, come on, Mabel.
We have first place going to Ada Lund, second place to Allie Burt, and third place to Walker Bissell. Ready for our individual market, class 4, we need Reagan Suntag, Hudson Bissell, Dylan Stormer, Megan Ramsey, Ada Lund, Allie Burt, Morgan Schuler, Dustin Schuler, and Porter Bissell.
I can get them for you here in a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. You go ahead. I don't want
No, I'm just writing down the ones you've got
to
planned.
understand.
Class here, very deep in terms of numbers, and the quality follows suit here. We start with the young lady's louder colored bearer here to lead us off, and that's the hog when you get on top of him that just offers us more in terms of a market hog setting. He's broader through his heart, he's broader through his rear flanking, yet he's still square, still very stout in terms of his feature, and very fresh in terms of his presentation and look he has to offer. Very nice place here to lead us off. Young lady's got a very sharp looking type of bearer here that's very fresh in terms of his shape as well. Like we talked in our initial class winner, I just didn't read this hog to be as opened up, and we began to study him through his center cavity. He condenses the most in terms of his heart compared to our class winner. I need to spread him out in terms of the plane of his hip, open him up a bit more in terms of his flank, and just his underlying he's got to offer. Love the freshness. I just got to see more of him through the center portion there. Good balancing, fundamentally built type of calico here. Very square, very opened up off either end of his skeleton. Yet another one that's maybe just not as expansive through his midrib and through his heart is what we find there. I didn't read this bear to be just as extreme or just as fresh when we begin to study his head and his neck shape. It begins to become just a bit plainer in terms of his jawline, a little bit plainer in terms of his crest up high. But in terms of feet and legs, in terms of a comfortable built, sound moving kind of hog, I think that's a very nice third place bear. A bear that has an advantage over our third place hog. The young man's got on the far side in terms of muscle, in terms of just overall body capacity. This one falls out of balance for me when we begin to study him from the side. When we put him in motion, he wants to rock a bit further forward in terms of his shoulder. He wants to steepen and drop in terms of his rear hip and his rump when we compare him back against the three above him. Very impressive hog, though, in terms of his body shape, in terms of the muscle he's able to pack into that skeleton, and yet still keep his hog square. Just need to see his shoulder blades a bit more comfortably. A good basic type of hog here, one that looks like he's converted, feed well, grown well, transitioned his fat deposits and his muscle into the right areas, and still kept his hog good and functional. Ready him to have just a shot more to him in terms of his upper dimensions than what we found in a few below him. Nice place there to start next. Young lady scout one here that comes out, he maybe has an advantage in terms of his flesh, in terms of his fleshing areas over the hog we got there. I didn't read him to be just as opened up or square in terms of his hind legs set there. A hog here that maybe has an advantage in terms of look, in terms of cleanliness to the front third of his body. You need to make that one a shot more comfortable in terms of his knee set. Same can be said about the next two we round out with. Maybe two that just get a bit more coordinated in terms of their movement, just not quite as comfortable or square overall as the ones we found above him. Congratulations on a very nice class. Go ahead and put your hands together for all those kids.
Same order? Yeah.
Okay, we have the results of that class. First,
Dang it, I turned it off. Sorry. It's my fault.
we have first place going to Ada Lund, second place going to Allie Burt, third place Morgan Schuler, fourth place goes to Dustin Schuler, fifth place Hudson Bissell, sixth place Megan Ramsey, seventh place Dylan Stormer, eighth place Porter Bissell, and ninth place Reagan Suntag. All will be receiving blue ribbons. This next class participants, we have Ellie Amdor, Dana Stormer, Porter Bissell, Connor Kaufman, Tristan Stark, and Dustin Schuler. The 6 people in this class, Judge.
Did it. Thanks. I'm sure they're sure.
Special thanks to our banner sponsors, First National Bank, Extreme Next Solutions, PCSB, Blue Horizon Stock Farms, Gavilon, and Farmers Co-op. And our judge today, we have Mr. Greg Cook from Huntston, Iowa.
That's all like that shows up.
Good class there, and a very interesting hog on the top end to lead off with the young man with the belted barrel there in the center of the ring. That's about as big of a hind leg as you're going to find on a hog of that weight, and one that makes you take a double take whenever he comes in. And for the first few minutes, maybe his joint work doesn't quite match just the comfort he's got in terms of a couple other aspects of his body, but one that offers us a show pig look, one that's carved out in terms of his muscle shape and yet still square, despite having that big of appendages there. That's a pretty unique type of hog there to lead off this particular class. Young man's blue one's going to fall second here in this particular class, and another one that's very heavy featured. I didn't find this hog to balance as well from the side. It becomes a bit more washed out in terms of his top line. It becomes a bit more ordinary in terms of his neck shape there. I didn't rate him to be just as comfortable or just as correct in terms of his rear foot placement as what we found there in that class winner. I think a nice hog that offers us some pieces to work with there to go second in this particular class. Young lady here with the kind of target hip hog is going to be our third here. That's the higher performing pair of the ones we've got remaining. The one that's just more sound and more deposited in terms of his fat and body composition there. More opened up in terms of his general design and spread. Very nice hog there to go third in this class. A young lady there on the right next to her with the other kind of blue-hipped barrel here is one that maybe mirrors a lot of the same aspects of quality we found in that third place hog in terms of being one that can just spread evenly and deposit where they need to be for a market hog show. I didn't read that one to have just the same capacity of muscle as what we found in the one there directly above it. A solid white one here that's going to go next in class, and one that's just not quite as comfortable as the ones we placed higher. Becomes a bit shorter striding, a bit more choppier in terms of his movement. Maybe wants to wear out the longer we drive him, when we compare him against those others. Just need to see him have just a bit more comfort and stamina there. One that we just need to redesign here from a balance perspective. Gets a little bit higher in terms of their spine, falls out of balance in terms of their silhouette as we begin to study him. Nice class, congratulations. Go ahead and put your hands together for all those exhibitors.
We have first place in that class going to Ada Lund.
No, Dustin Schuster.
Sorry about that. First place going to Dustin Schuler. Second place, Connor Kaufman. Third place, Kristen Stark. Fourth place, Dana Stormer. Fifth place, Porter Bissell. And sixth place to Ellie Amdor. This will be class 6, individual market hogs. We have the following exhibitors: Caden Kaufman, Levi Fitzgerald, Ellie Amdor, Connor Kaufman, Tristan Stark, Dylan Stormer, Mark Ramsey, Chase Suntag, and McKenna Ramsey.
over there?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
That's a lefty from last night.
I was gonna say, I think it's probably from last night.
Maybe a bit more challenging class to put together as it becomes maybe what's the lesser of the evils and what you're willing to accept in terms of hind leg, in terms of squareness and comfort. We start with the young man here in the center of the ring to lead us off, and that's the one that proportions out the best for me in terms of offering some muscle, offering some spread dimension, and still looking like a show hog. Having his shoulder, I love his skull shape. He's broad and he's solid about
At
his
least
mug. He's
4,
good about his
if
jaw
not
line.
5.
You step in behind him, and he can push the boundaries just in terms
Oh,
of
wait,
what
no,
you
no,
want
no.
to accept
There's 3
in
left.
terms of hawk and squares going away. I reckon to be
Yeah.
the most comfortable there of our initial trio when we compare him against the others. A young man here with the black-headed one's going to go ahead and be second in this class and has an advantage in terms of extensions, in terms of feature as well when we compare him back against that class winner. I read this hog to be flatter in terms of his rib. I read him to be the most condensed in terms of his heart shape there. He's the straighter shouldered hog that's the flatter-footed one that needs to be corrected in terms of his pasterns for at least this show judge to move any higher. In terms of his look, we can certainly appreciate that. Good raw shape working up high, just need to redesign it structurally from a couple of different perspectives there. A young lady there with the blue bone on the far side is going to be our third in this class, and that's simply the most comfortable hog there in terms of his main skeleton, in terms of his feet when we study him at the surface. I understand he's probably not the most ripped up in terms of his muscle. He's probably not the show hog of the remaining pair we got out here. Simply in terms of structure, in terms of comfort, that's the one that needs to go next best in the lineup for me. I love parts and pieces of the young man's belty gilt. It's going to go forth. I simply just can't get past that one hind leg. Too far out of bounds in terms of her hawk. I got to see that one square up, take a bit more comfortable angle of movement there to see that one stand any higher. We bring our solid white line out next. And another hog that's performed highly just in terms of lean muscle, in terms of grow, in terms of frame there. I didn't read him to have just as much power as the fourth place individual above him, where he is maybe just a little surer footed in terms of his rear foot placement. I just thought he sacrificed a bit too much product to move him up higher. One that has an advantage over just overall flesh and just bulk in terms of the one that stood directly there above him in class. I reckon him to be just a shot wastier in terms of his chow, not quite as coordinated in terms of his front foot placement. Same can be said about the one that we bring out next, and one that maybe just labors a bit more, struggles a bit more in terms of his movement. Need to see him go with just a shot more comfort there. A sharp-looking one that's great about his head shape, great about his jaw, offers us some good muscle up high. I can't tell if this hog was just kind of injured. He's kind of happy to be out here and hops around. When he finally slows down, he wants to maybe just push and labor just a shot more out of his hip, maybe sporting just a little bit of an injury there. To need to see him be shot more comfortable there to move him up higher. Good basic type of hog here that rounds us out. Another one that wants to just hitch and tie up a little bit differently in terms of his rear step. Congratulations. Go ahead and put your hands together for all those kids.
Results of that class, we have first place going to Levi Fitzgerald. Second place going to Connor Kaufman. Third place, Peyton Kaufman. Fourth place, Kristen Stark. Fifth place, Ellie Andor. Sixth place, DeMarc Ramsey. Seventh place, Dylan Stormer. Eighth place, to Taylor Ramsey. And ninth place, to Chase Suntag. Thank you, exhibitors. Okay, we're now ready for class 7. They're entering the ring here. We've got Katie Kaufman, Maxwell Ramsey, Avery Andor, Mark Ramsey, McKenna Ramsey. Mark Ramsey has the second pick in here. We have Maxwell Ramsey, Dylan Stormer, and Ellie Andor.
And Max has got the one ending in 49, so he's got the second one with his name.
Thank you.
That is on there.
So we're waiting for one more thing. It's not on.
We are waiting for one more pick, Judge. We've got one more pick coming in.
You go there and see what you want. Oh, okay. I'll just stay.
Your class is now complete. Yes, ma'am.
Oh man. Take me. She's just like saying how bad it's so much. Never mind. You good one? It's kind of dark. A little dark. How do I get flash? Go auto. Let me see the. Yeah, here you go. Maybe I'll try that better. Still no flash. But whatever. They don't need the light. Oh god. Oh no. Oh, there went the flash.
This one's Max and this one's Mark. I just don't know. Oh, no, they're all. That was my bad.
We went and got more blue.
I was gonna say,
Young man's belted barrel here is going to lead us off, and he's got a stouty in terms of his feature, in terms of his look and his bulk. That one's stout from the tip of his nose all the way back. He's got a big hind leg. His joint work is good. He's comfortable in terms of his movement pattern there. Balances very well in terms of where we study him from the side. His shoulder lays in him correctly. His hip lays in him square. Nice pick here to lead us off in this particular class. young lady here with the kind of red-buttered hog is going to be second. In terms of balance, I think that one's exceptionally good. He's long, he's level about his top line. He's a hog that can get up and move with comfort, and one that we don't need to make very many excuses for, just in terms of his balance and movement there. Our young man here with the kind of blue blanket type of hog is going to go third here, and that's the hog that maybe has the advantage over the second place hog, just in terms of overall spread there. He's packing a bit more punch on the upper side of his skeleton. He's got a bit more spread from long edge to long edge. I didn't read him to be just as balanced or comfortable. I didn't read him to be just as secure in terms of his rear foot placement as what we found in the one that placed directly above him there. The other blue blanket hog that comes next here, another one that offers us some product, offers us some muscle. He's another one that falls out of balance a bit more, gets a bit higher and higher in terms of his spine, and in doing so wants to become a bit more restricted in his usage of his front leg and his front shoulder there, and to just lay that spine down and relax him, allowing him to take just a bit more efficient step as we go. Same can be said about the hog here that comes next, maybe one that we didn't find quite as much bulk and spread there, wants to deviate the most behind his shoulder and into his spine. Another one we just need to balance and relax from that regard to come out next. I think one that has the advantage there just in terms of comfort. I didn't read this one, or comfort in terms of balance rather, than the hogs above him. One, the shoulder and spine lay him just a shot more appropriately. I didn't read that one to be just as opened up or just as comfortable. In terms of the rear foot, I need to open that one up at the lower portion of his skeleton. Hog here that comes next that needs squared up in terms of his knee. A hog that just falls out of balance and comfort. We just need to redesign from a structural perspective. Congratulations to all those exhibitors.
Where's the damn top?
I don't know. Mama better
Okay,
get
we
here
got the
soon.
results of that class. In first place,
I need it bad.
Hayden Hobson. Second place, Mark Ramsey. Third place, Dylan Stormer. Fourth place, we got Maxwell Ramsey. Fifth place, Mark Ramsey. Sixth place, Ellie Amdor. Seventh place, going to Mackenzie Ramsey. Eighth place, going to Avery Amdor. And ninth place, going to Maxwell Ramsey.
Whenever we go to do the overall, I can tell you the class winners.
Alright, we're gonna figure out which one might count.
Does that work? I just said whenever they go in for grand, I'll just tell her the class winners of them so she can, so she can flip through
That would be good.
4 pages.
Yeah, otherwise I'd be writing it down here how it works. This class we have Avery Amdor, Megan Ramsey, Michael Ramsey, Leah Pearson. Michael Ramsey has a second hog in here, with Avery Amador having a second hog.
Oh, I know. There's 20 birds here at the fair. How many? 20. Like 15.
We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do have it, okay, not one row.
Okay, Michael's got the one ending in 51.
Grace, do you want to come up a second? Sorry, I think we got 7 pigs.
Yeah, I was going to say we're short in
We got one extra.
Yeah, okay, I just thought you might want to know.
It's not so bad with that one swapped over to that. So then it's gonna make everything so ridiculous.
got Carl McCarty, Josh Cooper, Justin Cooper, Doug Maxwell, and Randy Cooper's out here helping. Thanks to everyone. We could not have a show without all these volunteers.
This is like I don't. You're fine.
Yeah, that one was.
Along with our volunteers, our sponsors, who sponsors all these banners that the kids can see. First National Bank, Nutrient Ag Solution, PCSB, Blue Horizon Stock Farms, Gavilon, and Farmers Co-op. Thank you, people.
You can tell her that she can go home if she wants.
Good class here. Before we get started, man, I want to echo those sentiments. The guys, you guys have got in the ring today running the boards. Them boys have sorted some hogs before. They're some of the best ring help that I've seen at any of the shows. So one more time, give them a big round of applause because they really had their work cut out for them this morning. Awesome job by those guys. The one we're going to start with here is going to be the young lady driving towards the left, my left side of the ring here. I love our production-oriented hogs. Man, that's the best one we've seen today, just in terms of a heaviness of structure, in terms of having the right kind of just composition to his body there. The power he's got on the top side of his skeleton matches his feel down low. The angle to his knee and shoulder is correct. That's a specimen of a production hog there to start us off with. Young lady in the corner with the more speckled-buttered hog there is going to be our second in this class. And a little bit leaner, a little bit more drawn out in terms of his heart and his flank than what we found in our class winner. I recommend to balance the second most appropriate as we begin to study his structure off to the side. Offers us just a bit cleaner look about the front third of his body. Our solid white one position there as well is going to be third in this class. And one that when we get them side by side, just sacrifices a bit more muscle, specifically off the rear quarter there. But then read that one to be just as comfortable in terms of his spine set there as well. A bigger outline framier type of market hog here that comes out next. And another one that maybe just sacrifices some product down low. He's a bit leaner in terms of his muscle, and we can certainly appreciate him about that. He becomes the most drawn up in terms of his flank. He's the lesser hog in terms of his lower body flesh here. And maybe a hog here that comes out next that has an advantage in that regard. We read that one to be as comfortable in terms of their hind leg set. She wants to just swivel a bit more in her movement pattern than what we found there. Specifically when we watch how she plants and uses her rear skeleton there. Hog here that comes out next is another one that's a bigger outline, longer, leaner type of hog. You can read this one to be just as comfortable or just as correct in terms of their shoulder. Wants to labor and tie up and shorten in terms of their stride a bit more than the ones there that place a bit higher. Good class here to round us out. Congratulations. Go ahead and put your hands together for all those kids.
Results of that class, first place going to Leah Pearson, second place, Avery Amador, third place, also Avery Amador, fourth place, Michael Ramsey, fifth place, Megan Ramsey, and sixth place, Michael Ramsey. Thank you, exhibitors. Our next class coming in, Michael Ramsey, McKenna Ramsey, Megan Ramsey,
And before we get to the pennant three.
Maxwell Ramsey, Leah Pearson, and Tristan Stark. Should be 7 pigs in this class.
That's the healthy Leah. See him on the.
Could take for her to get back. Yeah, we can do something.
If they have to.
Competitive pair here on the top end of this class. I'm about to start with the young lady here in front of me, and that's the hog that just better fits the mold of what I need to see. He's more appropriate in terms of his flesh. He's got some definition and groove working down his top on the shoulder sheet. He's got some genuine muscle there working within his skeleton. He's just the more appropriate hog for me as we begin to get these heavyweights. I think we'll see just a bit more sort in terms of flesh and finishing and the stage where we're at there. But I think that's the hog that just fits the mold the best for me. Our young lady on the far side with the kind of blue mask, blue hip type of barrel is going to be second in this class, and he's maybe one that's pushing more towards over condition. We're studying through his jowl, we're studying through the lower portion of his body. He becomes just a bit wastier in terms of the flesh that he has. Obviously done a good job of getting that one to gain, and obviously his added flesh means added product or added pounds on the scale. I just didn't read him to be as trim and proper as I need to be in that regard. The young man that comes out next has got one that wants to become maybe just a bit more cantankerous in terms of his movement. He wants to stop and maybe just not be as comfortable in terms of getting him out, getting him shown off there. Maybe because he's just a little bit tighter through his hip and his range of motion isn't quite as good. That's that compositionally. We study his body. Another one that offers us some lean muscle, offers us the right kind of finish and fit there for today's show. On here, I just need to put a bigger engine. He wants to tire out the most. He wants to become the most restricted, the most wore out of our initial four here. If I can get that hog to just relax and go, give him a shot more stamina, I think we can move that one up a bit higher, as I think it offers a lot from a market hog perspective there. Falls out of balance here in terms of his shoulder, in terms of his spine set. He wants to lurch and rock forward just a bit more, wants to roach up a bit more on the rear half of the skeleton. I think you see that hog a bit more level of package there. Then give me a sec here. One hog that has an advantage maybe over flesh versus the one we just talked about. We're ready to spine to tie up just a bit more. He wants to draw his hind leg up underneath him. Consequently, in doing so, another one that just needs a shot more balance. Hog here that we round out with, it just needs to be redesigned in terms of his knee. He takes maybe just a bit more awkward of a step. Need to allow him to just straighten up and fix the angle about that to his front skeleton. Congratulations. Go ahead and put your hands together for all those kids.
Well, now we bring back the third place pig for the overall grand champion, Market Pig. It'll be the overall grand champion, Market Pig.
Class 1 Walker Bissell.
Class 1, we got Walker Bissell.
Class 2,
Class 2,
801.
we got Ada Lund. Class 3, we got Ada Lund. Class 4, we got Ada Lund. Class 5, we got Dustin Schuler. Class 6, Levi Fitzgerald. Class 7, Hayden Hoffman. Class 8, Leah Pearson. And Class 9 is Leah Pearson. Those are the hogs will meet in the ring for the grand champion overall.
And then have the reserves on scale.
Please have the reserves on standby. Judge, you should have 9 pigs in the ring, and all are in here. Again, we'd like to thank our judge, Bruce Cook, who comes to us from Huntersville, Iowa, and our swine superintendents who work all year to put this show on, Randy and Holly Cooper. Thank you for your time and all your support.
starting off, if you will, for me, please, let's go ahead and congratulate all of our class winners to the market show, all the kids that made it through the ring, whether they're back out here representing your class or not. I think you guys have done a fantastic job all the way through. And I know we've got a couple divisions left. I'm not much of a speech giver. If you know me, I'm not much of a conversationalist most of the time. But as a younger guy, I'm not sure I've got any profound wisdom to impart on all of you, as I'm still in the younger end of my years as well. I'm certainly not as weathered in terms of the advice department either. But as we get gathered here and county fair season starts to kick off, I got to thinking on my drive over, man. I think if I had any advice to give you, it's just kind of play the hand that you're dealt in life. Make the most out of each situation, whether you won your class, whether you were fifth in class today. If you learned something from your project, that's what matters the most. And I know there's a lot of kids here that might hang their head and think, man, I thought that pig was better than that. I thought I'd get to take home some hardware. What matters is what you learn from it. If you learn how to wake up every day, if you learn to have a dependent that you had to get out there and feed, take care of, and just keep alive and allow that one to thrive, man, you've already won today. You might not have a ribbon or a trophy, but you've already won. And we're talking about what we've got here today, and I told myself I wouldn't get too far into it, but I know we got maybe just a little bit faster on some of those classes, and I apologize. I'm trying to be present. My mind might be elsewhere. I've got a dad on the table somewhere in the morning. He's got his chest cracked open. They're starting to quadruple bypass here in a minute. So I'm trying to be as present as I can. I'm trying to be in the moment. I got to thinking about my own advice I just gave these kids. Man, play the hand that life deals you. I talked to Dad the other day. I said, man, I was supposed to do the show Monday, but I'll be there for you when you go into surgery at 7. He said, man, go do what you love. Like, you're not a surgeon. You got big hands. You're clumsy. I don't need you back there anyway working on my heart. He said, it's a 4-hour surgery. I'll be fine. Go do what you love. And, I could mope around. I could be sad. I could be worried for him. I'm not. Man, he's tough. He can handle his own. I trust the surgeons he's got. I'm playing the hand that life dealt me. I hope if anything you take away, enjoy what you're doing, learn something from it, and play the hand that life dealt you. We'll get back out to these hogs. I think there's one that's exceptionally good out here. You think about what we got further on down the road and how you want to represent yourself at your district showdown. The one that I'm the most proud to stand behind, the one that needs to win rather easily for me, will be the young lady's loud colored barrel right here. He'll be your champion.
Ada. It's Ada.
Who's that bringing back in?
No one on a spot.
And did Margaret Hospital go
What's that?
Morgan has Ada's other one.
Yeah, but which one? What class she came out of?
Morgan's got,
No, out of the.
That's what we're trying to figure out. Sorry, Drake.
What's the tag number on that page?
What was the tag number on that pig?
oh, I didn't get to one.
Who is it, Randy?
She's coming in.
Okay, Albert. Allie Burt will be bringing her second place pig in that class.
We'll drop that second place in. Man, I think it gets close out here for reserve. We got a trail of them that I think are exceptionally good. We've got some hogs that maybe have a bit more bark, a bit more feel on them. We got hogs that are just so genuine in terms of their look, in terms of their skeleton. I'm a fundamentals type of guy. If you can bring me a square hog that's got a good look, he's still comfortable, and he can go without needing any excuses made. I'm not going to be the one that beats him. Our second place hog will be your reserve champion today. Congratulations.
Reserve champion will go to Allie Bird out of class 4.
Nine places is the tag number.
Sorry. Say that one more time.
Okay, Nora has Ada's class 3 winning pig.
Yep.
As champion. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
So it'd be 6152.
Okay, now we're going to. We're now getting ready for our pins of 3. First class, pin of 3, we need Dylan Stormer, L.A. Landor, and Mark Ramsey. The 3 contestants, Judge. Oh, I know nothing. Yeah. Okay, a market hog, they're just judging the way he looks out there. Okay, when we get into the carcass, they're going to send it to the locker. They're going to butcher him and harvest him, I guess, and judge it off that. So then they really know how much back fat they have. Now they will do a live carcass here today, and so he's going to.
Oh, okay, they're going to do that
yeah.
today. Okay, that's.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I probably went one past that.
No, you're good. I was.
It's so hard.
You want to announce that we'll do banner pictures following the completion of the show?
Exhibitors, please note, we'll do banner pictures immediately following the show. Banner pictures will be immediately following the show.
The 5948. Okay.
Can you tell me your food name?
Emily Flower.
Emily. And how about this other little gal?
Bria Templeton.
We're very fortunate today to have our fair queen, Emily Lauer, here helping out hand out ribbons along with Bria Templeton. Thank you, gals, for all your help. Let's give them a hand. I see Emily around the fair helping out everywhere she can. Thank you, Emily.
Okay, this is a schedule. Oh, okay. So I can, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to announce it.
Sure. Well, I don't go none. Along with the pig show today, we also have our senior day here at the fair. So at 9:30 through 11:45, we have senior day entertainment. Starting at 10 o'clock, senior day cookie judging. Following that, at 11 o'clock, we have the rabbit and small pet show. At 1 o'clock, we have bingo and livestock judging contest. At 4:30, we start registering for the pedal pool. At 5 o'clock, the Adams County Extension and Outreach is having a barbecue, and the Rural Development is having barbecue. At 6 p.m., we have our wardrobe fashion show, a foundation award, and state fair awards. And then at 7 p.m., we have our Iowa Draft Horse Pullers Bowl.
I didn't even notice it. Oh my gosh, I should have announced. Who's the gal with the back? We have so many things there. I can't keep track. The gal out there that's showing that's got the crown on.
Oh, she's just helping her sister.
I should have announced her too. She wasn't sitting here. Is she going to be showing here pretty soon?
Yeah.
No one knows.
No, she doesn't show pics.
She didn't show pictures at all. Just all that. Okay, so we have these shirts that we bought just to support the 4-H, but they have other ones they're showing in.
Yep.
That's by Innovative Solutions Services.
Ag Solutions, Innovative Ag Solutions.
Yeah.
We get started here in your Pen of 3 show, and I know Pen of 3 has always been a thing that we've done. We do it in my county, we do it in a lot of the Iowa counties. I've had the privilege to judge over the years, and I had a buddy visit one time, and he was from out east, Indiana actually, and he said, "Man, what's a Pen of 3?" And I kind of went through it, and I said, well, I don't really know where the origins come from, but that's just something we do. And along the years, I've kind of asked that question, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't maybe know quite as much about the older history, but from what I've been told a few times, hogs that were sold in groups obviously are what you want to market. Back when marketing on an individual basis instead of on a contract was more prevalent. And for a group of hogs to be uniform, just gave the confidence of the buyer a good deal of the buyer's confidence just went through the roof, because you know you're getting an evenly finished product. They're on the same playing field. They're on the same scale. Therefore, that gives you the best chance to finish all three out, capitalize all of them at the same time. So what we're looking for in our Pen of 3 contest is going to be uniformity, balance, comfort, and all the intangibles that we talked there in our regular market hog show will come into play. But we're looking for 3 hogs that match up the best. And our young lady here, our back tag number 30, is going to be our first one that leads us off. I think 3 hogs here, they're identical in terms of their frame size, they're identical in terms of their weight. Just a very uniform Pen of 3 here to lead us off. Go ahead and congratulate that young lady. Our second place individual is going to be our young lady there on the far side with the kind of the blue blanket hogs there within her pen. And maybe when we begin to compare these against our class winner, we've got a barrow in there that's maybe just a bit pounds lighter. He's a 15-2 notch, the kind of blue blanket barrow that she's on right now. He gives up maybe just a shot more frame and maturity, maybe just a shot more bulk and fill compared to the 2 above him. Maybe that's what throws off our balance just a little bit more. Nonetheless, I think a very nice uniform group there for the most part to go second in this class. Color doesn't necessarily bother me. I know we've got a couple different hogs
they
here
just
in
threw
this
them in pens. They
particular
didn't
one. They have a little bit different pigment color. We got a blue bottle one that maybe just finishes at a little higher grade. It's got a bit more flesh to him there. And we got a pair of red belts hogs that maybe just don't match him in terms of body composition or spread or power. Just need to even those out a bit more. Very good class here. Congratulations to all those kids.
In that class, we had first place going to L.A.M. George, second place going to Dana Stormer, and third place to Mark Ramsey. Our class 2 of Pen of 3, we have 4 contestants. So Megan Ramsey, McKenna Ramsey, Maxwell Ramsey, and Dylan Stormer.
Sister excited? Taking both to shootout? 4. When is the shootout?
Last weekend of July. It's like Sunday the
30th.
30th.
He breeds a lot of pigs. Are you happy that you showed the green
The second
champion?
class here in our Pen of 3 show. Our young
Both of
man here
them.
that comes out first is going to lead us off. He's got a trio here of heavyweight hogs that are very identical in terms of their finish, their flesh, and their feel is all just very on par with each other. Kind of bigger outlined hogs that have the same kind of softness to their midrib and their lower body there. We maybe got one that is just falls out of balance a tick more on an individual basis, but in terms of a finishing market trio there, I like that pair the best here. Really soft. Our young lady comes out here, offers another competitive one. It gets close between that top pair. We got maybe just a little bit of yield gray and finishing differences here. We got a hog there on the far side that maybe just cuts a little bit leaner, cuts with a little less product there. Then we would compare them back against the two here directly in front of me. And read that hog that have just the same capacity as muscle as our other pair. And we have to get nitpicky when the top pair of this class is that good. Congratulations to that young lady there as well. We drop one out next, and obviously the easy thing to pick on here would be color, and that's not actually what we're going to end up sorting things by here. I think we've got a pair of white hogs that actually balance and add up rather well here within a pin. Bigger outline hogs there as well that are lean, got their muscle up high, comfortable in terms of movement. We got a red hog here, and besides some color, he's just a different cut from a different cloth in terms of his mold. He's a little shorter, a little bit rounder in terms of his body. I don't read him to match up quite as well when we compare it back against the two pins we had above. Some hogs here that on an individual basis maybe just aren't what we need to find just in terms of comfort, in terms of skeleton or overall build. I need to maybe just kind of pick the odd man out there that we've got. The young man's got the one that maybe just sours the pin a little bit for me in terms of a structural perspective here. I think in terms of finish and uniformity, we got some matchup there on an individual basis. I just got to see a couple of
I
those
just
sounds.
figured, okay, it's kind of in the same place as my button. I prefer doing that. That was fast.
Results for that class with first place
I never get it
was
right.
Dylan Stormer, second place McKenna Ramsey,
We're in the
third
second,
place
yeah,
Megan
class.
Ramsey, and fourth place to Maxwell Ramsey. Getting ready now, we've got in a 30 class 3, we've got 4 contestants, Chase Sontag, Avery Ansor, Kristen Stark, and Michael Ramsey.
I know a lot of people who like to do screen photos. I hate screen photos. Like, give me my people. I know exactly what I'm getting in my people. I still can't figure out yesterday what set me into an allergic reaction. My face is still puffy. Like, I don't know what it was. I thought maybe it was the drinking, but I don't know. She's on her way. So when my mom gets here, you gotta give her time. She'll have her coffee and I'll be here all day. But I promise it'll have 3 shots of espresso in it. I forgot to say 2 for you. Mine's got 4, so hey. That'll get the blood flowing anyway in the caffeine system.
Again, exhibitors, just a reminder, we will be taking all banner pictures following this show. Our banner sponsors are First National Bank, Nutrient Ag Solutions, CCSG, Blue Horizon Stock Farm, Gavilon, and Farmers Co-op. Thank you very much to all their sponsors. Again, thank you to our ring men. You see them out here working today, they got the job set out for them. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, I did, but I want everybody to do. Okay, keep me posted though, okay? Okay, thank you.
Another very good class here, another very competitive top pair that maybe has a bit more give and take on him. We start here with the young man's trio that he brings us out here. He's got a couple of solid whites and a blue belt there. We got heavier framed hogs, maybe more towards the finishing weights here, and I think that's what makes it more impressive that we've got them all there within just a mere couple pounds. I'd imagine if we put all three of them on the scale in terms of their weight uniformity, in terms of their conformation and their body type, very, very similar hogs there. Another good pair here that comes out a little bit lighter weight when we compare it back against our class winner. Maybe just a slight differences here in terms of finish. We've got a blue hog here, very expansive on the upper part of his skeleton, the right kind of flesh down low. We got a couple other hogs that maybe just get a little bit more trim, a little bit leaner. We don't find them to balance just quite the same as what our class leader here that comes out first is, and maybe that's what sorts it down towards our top pair. I think when you need to put it that close, I think that you got an awfully good top pair that you're working with. Congratulations and a very good job to both of those exhibitors here that we just saw. From then on, we go to the young ladies trio here on our right side, and three heavier weight hogs there as well. We got maybe just some different types and kinds and lengths in terms of frame and body size. We got a white hog that maybe pushes the boundaries in terms of its finish and its feel. We got a couple other hogs that are maybe just a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact, don't have quite the same kind of yield grade and just overall body composition that what we found there. The target butted one, the kind of black speckled hipped one, is maybe the one that kind of sours the pin for me here. He becomes just the smallest and gives up several pounds difference there between the upper pair of that trio. But I think in summer had a very nice pen of three there for that young lady here to go third. Young man here brings us out, and just hogs that are just built different. They're on different stages of the maturity. We've got a pair here that have a bit more leaner muscle there working within them, come with a bit more frame. We got one that's maybe just a little bit more immature yet in terms of what he's got to offer from a muscle and muscle shape perspective there. We got one that we just need to redesign in terms of a comfort level there. Maybe we don't find those to fit together. Just quite as good as what we'd like them to there. Congratulations to all those kids. Very good fourth place here. Awesome class.
But I like it. Like,
We have the
It'd be
results
cute
of that
underneath,
class,
though.
with first place going to Michael Ramsey, second place Avery Amador, third place Tristan Scarp, and fourth place to Chase Sontag. Our final class 4 of Pin at 3, this is the last class of Pin at 3. We have two contestants, Leah Pearson and Raven Sontag. Following that class, we'll have for the grand champion Pin at 3. Other events we have for the day, over in the pavilion, from 9:30 to 11:45 is Senior Day Entertainment. We have the Senior Day cookie judging. At 11 a.m. back here in the show arena, we'll have Rabbit and Small Pet Show. At 1 p.m. there'll be the Livestock Judging Contest. 4:30 center pole registration. 5 o'clock, be sure to be back for the Rural Development Barbecue. 6 o'clock, they'll be handing out the 4-H awards. Wardrobe fashion.
I told the guys here working the ring, we'll just leave our first and second place here, and that way we don't have to repin them before the grand drive. The lady on the right side of me here is going to go ahead and lead off this class, and like we've talked all day, I mean, just holds the balance up and fit together well in terms of their frame size. We're on an equal playing field in terms of our finish and our finishing weight there. All leaner made hogs there that are the right kind of feel, the right kind of fit. A nice thing here to start us off with. Our young lady to the left of us here is going to go ahead and be second in this class, and maybe just some differences there, just an overall body. We got a blue butt there that's maybe just a little bit more compact, a little bit shorter in terms of his build. We've got a pair of white hogs there, maybe get a little bit longer, a little bit drier in some areas. Maybe just don't fit together quite as well, but I think a very good pair. Go ahead and put your hands together for those two young ladies. We'll get you a champion Pin at 3.
Winners Winners of that class was first place Reagan Sontag, second Leah Pearson. Now we'll be taking the first place of each one of those classes. We need Ellie Amador, Dylan Stormer, Michael Ramsey, and Reagan Sontag. Please bring in your group of 3 pins.
No idea. Just another class, I guess.
Very
Since we
good
do so many
minute
card
show,
shows.
if you will, for all the kids that competed here within this particular division. Let's go ahead and give them a nice round of applause. I think what it comes down to, man, this is one of the most difficult divisions you've got because you've got not only one head to worry about getting right, you got 3 heads that you need to match up and keep on the same program, keep on the same feed level, and just hope everything holds together. I like all of our class winners. I think all these young individuals we've got between our class winners and our second place still in here done an awesome job of keeping everything trim, keeping everything right from a market and finishing perspective there, keeping everything uniform in terms of just the overall feed and the overall look and design of the product. I thought there was an exceptionally good class. I think there's a very good pair. We've got some heavier weights here, maybe pushing there towards the end of the feeding window. I think in terms of body and build and design, I think they're near identical. If we put them all on a scale, I'd imagine they'd all weigh about the same too. For your man here on the far side, we'll have your champion pin at 3. Help me congratulate him.
Dylan, Turner, Faith. So we need McKenna Ram. I need McKenna.
McKenna Ramsey, please bring in your pin of 3. McKenna Ramsey. Our champion pin of 3 goes to Dylan Stormer.
Should be McKenna Ramsey. No, it's not Avery. What do you? It's not Avery. It should be McKenna Ramsey.
He said it should be somebody else. I don't know. Hopefully the judge will get it. I have no idea.
This isn't right?
No, no.
Which one did it?
McKenna Ramsey.
What number?
It's just out of class 2.
We drove our second place in out of that class, and I think a very nice pair. Like we talked, I thought that class was exceptionally good. We get them out here, we get them on foot. Maybe we have a little bit different in type and time, just amongst structure, amongst comfort level. Another pin that hit me awfully hard here in terms of being heavier weight hogs that are just dialed in terms of where they need to be from a flesh and a muscle perspective, doing so at a heavy weight. For the last class, I believe, we have your reserve.
Oh, he went to that class anyway. Okay, who was this?
McKenna Ramsey. Who won? Who got reserved? It's fine. It's done now.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe this is what he's picking for
No,
his
he already picked reserve.
Okay, okay. I think we're done.
Can you announce?
Well, I can, but why are we still bringing up kids of trees?
It's fine. You're good. You're good. You can go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I totally confused.
Wait, hang on. We'll wait. Just wait. We'll wait. Because I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know either.
Alright, they're taking them out of the ring.
Carl, we're done, right? No, I can't.
Yes, go
champion pedigree went to Dylan Stormer with reserve champion pedigree to Reagan Suntag. Let's give him a hand. We're getting ready for carcass. Class 1, we'll have 3 exhibitors, Megan Ramsey, Morgan Schuler, and Mark Ramsey. Again, I want to thank our judge out here, Mr. Drake Cook from Humiston. As you heard him tell his story earlier, this young man has quite a dedication. He said he'd be here to judge, and he is here to judge. Thank you, Drake.
Why were they so confused? I don't know.
Got it. That's the second one in that. You said the second one is on
No,
top.
McKenna was supposed to come out.
And who won it though?
And who went out? The Andor girl. And then
She didn't win it.
No.
Yeah. All that happens when you have one too many.
What?
You think the judge like doesn't
No, somebody else is doing the purple. Raining Paul is at the top. Nope. Don't make me part of the problem here. So stupid. Whatever. On my deal.
Okay, Judge, you'll have 3 contestants in here. We got Megan Ramsey, Morgan Schuler, and Mark Ramsey. And this is for the carcass class, live carcass class judging. These people then go to the locker and will be judged again later, but right now he's judging them as they look on the hook.
Always fun to sort the carcass contest here, and for those of you that may be wondering what we're looking for here, and it's not necessarily show ring appeal or who's the shiniest, or who's just the best overall individual there in terms of maybe what we judged earlier on the show pig end of things. We're talking about what's going to yield the most product. We're going to talk about what yields the most, just lean pork that you can put in your freezer, feed your family, or do whatever you want with it here. I think in terms of one that balances the best, he's distributed his mass and his weight the most evenly, and he's still carved out and lean in terms of his muscle, not over finished in terms of his feel. Our young lady's Calico is going to be the one here that will lead off this particular class with. The young man here on the far side is going to have our second place, and he's maybe just a pounds lighter hog. He's a bit leaner in terms of his overall build, but I'd be willing to bet that that one can cut a pretty good eye there just in terms of his overall muscularity and in terms of having some flesh to him there. I like that hog to be second here in this class. So we got a red one here that rounds us out. Maybe just gets a little bit waste here, maybe has a few more parts and pieces we're going to have to trim off of him once we get him on a rail there, just in terms of his flesh and his fat deposits there. I like him to be third best here in this class. Nice classic carcass hogs here to get us started. Congratulations to all those exhibitors.
We have first place in that class going to Morgan Schuler, second place going to Mark Ramsey, third place to Megan Ramsey. Carcass class 2, we have 4 exhibitors. It'll be Dana Stormer, McKenna Ramsey, Maxwell Ramsey, and Levi Fitzgerald.
class there. We start with the young man's belting water. While he may be the most efficient maybe for a show ring setting, I also read him just in terms of a carcass quality perspective to be the most ideal for what we've got to work with in terms of his body deposit, in terms of his raw muscle, in terms of just the overall bulk and dimension he has to offer. There's more pounds of product there. He's lean. He's not too much, won't have too much waste in terms of that one. I think that's the logical place here to lead us off with. Our young man there in the classes on the far side is going to be our second place individual. One that's finished and feel is about right for me. He's got some softness to his center body. He's got some spread dimension to his upper skeleton. He's still got some muscle working within his top. He's got a good groove there down his long edge. He's going to cut lean, stay lean, and hopefully yield us a pretty good carcass by the end of it here. Young lady here, the other young lady with the glasses next to him is going to be third here in this class. And maybe just one that gets a little bit softer in his lower flesh. He's a little bit softer and maybe it's not quite as mature yet in terms of his muscle or where we can project that one to finish out at in terms of his lean ratio there. Maybe just one that we need to just sharpen up a bit there in terms of his overall, just the capacity of muscle and body he can have there. Nice third place hog there as well. One that just gets a little bit drier, gets a little bit skinnier, doesn't look as high performing in terms of his overall body and feel there. One that we just need to enhance from those perspectives there. Congratulations on another nice class.
We have first place in that class going to Levi Fitzgerald. Second place, Maxwell Ramsey. Third place, Dylan Stormer. And fourth place, McKenna Ramsey. Excuse me, Dana Stormer for third place. Carcass class 3, we need Connor Kaufman and Porter Bissell.
Good pair here. We're going to start with the young man solid white one here to lead us off, and that's the balance hog in terms of where he distributes his weight, his product, and his feel. Very level about his design. He's wide from end to end. He's got a good hip leg into him. The center portion of his body, the softness, the flesh, and product he's got working within him there is more than ideal for me. I think that's a very good place here to lead us off with. The show pig of the group comes in here. He's just a little bit lean, a little bit raw. We studied that one's just an internal dimension. There's just not quite as much capacity in there to handle things. He's the flatter sided hog that offers us the least amount of product, a little bit more raw in terms of his muscle, maybe just pushing a bit more power there than what we need to see, at least in this particular division. Go ahead and congratulate both of those young men. Nice pair.
That class, we've got Porter Bissell showing first place and Connor Kaufman with second. Now entering the ring will be class 4. We need Chase Sontag, Caden Kaufman, Michael Ramsey, Ellie Andor, and Dylan Stormer. 5 contestants judged. Exhibitors, reminder, we'll be doing showmanship at the end of the carcass contest here. So be getting your pigs ready for showmanship. We'll have the junior swine showman, intermediate, and then senior.
took maybe just a little bit more time on this top pair. I think maybe just a few more scenarios we asked ourselves and we run through between them. The one that I'm the most confident is going to yield the most loin, the most product, just the most pounds per hog, and do so in an appropriate fat to a muscle ratio will be the young man's belted bearer here to lead us off. And I understand there's a bridge that needs gapped a lot of times between what we assume a show pig can do and what we assume a commercial hog can do. I can tell you I've made a lot of bearers that look like that. We've always never been disappointed whenever we get them home from the walker. I understand you can't eat bone, but you can dang sure eat a big carcass that's got some muscle, some product, and some power within it. That's the hog here for me that needs to lead this one off. That man's red belt here is going to go second. I like the even distribution we've got. His hips is big as his shoulder. He's got the right kind of flesh and feel down below. He's got the right kind of dimension to couple that up high. Didn't rate him to be just as lean in his overall makeup as what we found that class winner to be. A nice type of pig there in his own right there to go a second in this particular class. Maybe one that's pushing just a little bit more condition than what we want to deem ideal. Maybe a bit more trimming is going to need to occur there once we get these on a rail. Is what we find in the young man with the blue button here go third. Maybe we just need to trim that one up just a little bit, refine it just a little bit, a couple aspects there as well. Young man here in the center of the ring is going to be our next individual. And one that maybe we just don't find a balance quite as well. It becomes a bit narrower on the front portion of his skeleton, opens up into a big hip and a big ham. I'd say he's going to skin with a pretty decent loin. He's got a big lean muscle mass. Just need to see him a little bit more evenly distributed there. Same can be said about the young lady here that rounds us out. A little bit bigger frame here barrel. It just doesn't come with the kind of pounds, the kind of spread and product that we need to find here within this carcass division. Congratulations, ladies and winners.
I got lost. I have to just go with her.
That class went first place going to Kate Kaufman. Second place, Jason Suntag. Third place, Dylan Stormer. Fourth place, Michael Ramsey. And fifth place, Ellie Andor. Final class, class 5 of the carcass. We'll have 5 contestants. It'll be Leah Pearson, Avery Andor, Hudson Bissell, Tristan Stark, and Reagan Suntag.
I'm used to horse shows. It's all good.
Tonight's entertainment is after you're here at 6 o'clock. 5 o'clock for the barbecue, 6 o'clock's awards for state fair and Forage to Wardrobe. At 7 p.m. we have the Iowa Draft Horse Pullers Contest. So plan to spend your evening at the Addis County Fair.
You can also announce cruising, if they want lunch. After this, the cruising cafe, well, I guess it can be, but during lunchtime, we'll have the cruising cafe food truck.
I've also been informed that at noon for lunch, we've got the Cruising Cafe for your lunch.
I knew he was getting ready for mine.
Very deep class here as we get in towards the latter half of these carcass division hogs. And the one we need to start with will be the young ladies here, just in terms of uniformity and balance. Like we've talked in a few other classes, distribution of weight and still having the right kind of muscle and fat ratio there. I think that's the hog that needs to win the one I'm the most confident there and taking to the walker and seeing where he scans and not being disappointed there with the results. Our young lady there on the far side is going to go second. The bear that's second, maybe just a little bit more fill, a little bit more neck and jowl, and maybe we can call him just a shot waist here or there. I know we've talked and been pretty critical on fat there at times. Hey, fat is flavor when it gets down to pork, and I'm all right with it. But what we need to do is keep in check when we keep these on the rail. And in mind, you want the white meat. The white meat is the product. The white meat is what weighs up. Fat is good, but we're looking for the right kind of balance. For that hog to have just a little bit more trim and sort there to it. Young lady on the far side, the green shirt, is going to have our third place, and one that's maybe past its prime in terms of its fill and condition. Maybe just what I deem to be a little far gone, just in terms of its fill, in terms of the fat he's got to offer. He's the wastiest of our top trio there in terms of his neck, just pushing a little bit more fill there than what we need to see here within a class that we're trying to keep things lean and cut at a high rate there. Young man here that is with the blue buck's going to go ahead and be next in line. And one that maybe falls suit a bit more in terms of its body type and composition to what we found in our first two individuals there. I didn't rate that one to be just as good in terms of its spread up through the center portion through his shoulder. Once we start to cut there, might be a little bit more sort there in terms of the distribution, what you're able to yield there from what part of the hog you find it in. Our young lady there on the far side is going to go ahead and round this out and just hope to maybe get a little bit leaner in their kind. Very good class here. Congratulations towards the top end. Good way to round out our carcass deal.
Sure, I got the last two right.
5, 2, 4, 3, 1. There's only 5 in the class.
I'm sorry. 3, 2.
I don't care, it's still caffeine, it'll get me through there.
No, Christian Stark was third.
Should have been, I pre-ordered them. Oh, really? Yep. Yeah, if you message Michelle on Facebook, she'll like literally have the stuff ready to go and wait for you, like at a certain time when you're.
I thought we were just here on this class.
Oh, it's like the woman in my class, and like,
What's
I
that?
love her. We have differences. She's got 5, 2, 3, 1. The one that runs that class. I thought that was very. She owns it. I think we have a difference in how you have and Michelle's like a little bit younger than I am. Because I think I was right there.
I was writing him as he was going.
Okay, results of the last class. We have first place, Reagan Sontag. Second place, Avery Amador. Third place, Tristan Smart. Fourth place, Hudson Bissell. And fifth place, Leah Pearson. She is now victory for the Ray Champion Live Carpet.
Tristan has the green
I
shirt.
put down for the rest of our division winners. Go ahead and congratulate all the kids there that participated in the carcass hog deal. I know you get much outside of a county fair or maybe even the state fair show. There's not a lot of opportunities here for these kids to showcase if their passion is meat quality and pork production. They don't get as many opportunities as the kids that maybe want to just go show pigs and maybe just want to compare them and just strictly a show basis here. I think there's truly an art there to feeding these hogs and getting them to where you need them to be. And there's many more people qualified than me to sort carcass hogs. I actually don't even have a commercial background other than my family used to do it, but that was well before my time. Just being around it all the years that we've been and kind of getting to know what you like, what you want, and then at the end of the day, a hog is still a meat animal. They need to be finished out and harvested. Knowing what you like there and how they need to look to get there is definitely a fun part of the process of the circle of life that a hog will have there. I think for me, there's one out here. There's certainly plenty of hogs here that are going to offer a lot of muscle, and then maybe a couple of them just get a shot leaner in terms of their build. And I know show pigs can get a bad rap for that there at times. I think pounds of product is going to be good. For me, there's one that in terms of just his fat and his body composition, his fat to muscle ratio, just the overall spread of product he's got, and still being able to compete in terms of interskeletal capacity and all the different kind of factors we need to find to have a successful hog hanging on a rail. The one that does it the best for me is going to be our back tag 33, our young man there along the far side. Go ahead, your champion carcass.
Okay, so Connor Clausen will come back on right here. Yeah, no, okay, but I'll do this. I'll do this.
Connor Kaufman will be Connor Kaufman.
No, Porter Bissell. We need Connor Kaufman.
I said Connor Kaufman would be here first.
Okay.
Okay, but who won that? But that's what
Porter.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, yeah, because I was going to announce that.
Champion live carcass goes to Porter Bissell.
Yeah. I think the variant, because we've got banners for showmanship. Does that work? If it works, I don't care. What do you want to do?
I just need to find out.
So do you want the senior showman to go first?
We'll have to ask the judge how he wants to do it.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
We've just heard from the judge. He would like to do the senior swine showman first, then the intermediate, and then the junior. So senior swine showman, please be getting your pigs ready.
We dropped that second place in behind our champion. Like we talked in class there, I think that's a nice hog just from a muscle perspective there. Maybe just not quite the body volume or softness in certain areas that we need to see. I think there's another one out here that just in terms of pounds of product, in terms of just muscle and still offering the right kind of fat there to keep your product flavored right and to keep everything in check. One that I think is going to cut awfully good would be certainly fun to get some skins out on this one. Coming in with the Belgian hog here will be your reserve champion.
Reserve champion carcass goes to Peyton Hoffman. Congratulations. Okay, senior swine showman, and you can be heading to the gate. Senior swine showman.
That's all.
I get on that gate. He had a part of him. What did he get?
Works a lot better than it did last time.
Like that one.
Well, great cheese. That's okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, right.
No, I've been watching it. I see it right now, or I write it down. I can't even give the names to you guys because I don't know them. Okay, you know,
It's fine. We don't need the names. It'll be
Don't
alright.
need the names?
I'll tell you who wins. How about that?
okay.
might surprise me, but.
I didn't know what he said. You can tell I work at the school.
Very, very good top pair here in the showmanship deal. They were going back and forth. They tell me you only pick a champion, and that's what makes it even more tough to get right here, because I think we've got a pair of young ladies on the top end of this deal that are exceptionally good. Just a brief overview of what we're looking for. Not only are we looking for efficiency, we're looking for control of their animal, skin and hair presentation, the showmanship's comfort level in working with their animal and being able to present it to the highest degree. I think there's two showmen here, and I both caught them doing the same little flaw. You guys want to cross over just a little bit more and obstruct my view, and maybe when we turn to deem ideal at times there, in terms of speed and in terms of having a dance partner that's ready to go, and then we get out and just do it effortlessly. I think we got two showmen here that both offer the same amount of eye contact, the same amount of just ring awareness there as well. The one that does it for me and does it just a shot better today will be the young lady on the far side with the bulldog.
Champion senior swine showman today is Morgan Schuler. We'll now have our intermediate swine showman beginning ready.
just there, and nobody knows. I wanted to a production. Well, I wanted to have a production class. And then they can pick whatever they want to show it in. Well, it just makes it hard, right? You know, I mean, you got
Next group of showmen, maybe a bit more cut and dried. I think there's one out here that's exceptionally good and needs to wing rather handily. We've got a showman that, just in terms of presentation and eye contact, showing me the appropriate angles and yet keeping the appropriate spacing at all times. I think he's doing a highly commendable job. Help me congratulate the young man here in front of me. He'll be your champion.
Yeah.
Okay. Your intermediate swine showman, Hayden Hoffman. Congratulations, Hayden.
Connor. I think it's Connor. It's Connor.
Okay, now we're ready for the junior swine showman.
Walker Bissell
Walker Bissell. Walker Bissell won.
instead of Katie.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, confused on that one. Intermediate swine showman, Walker Bissell. Sorry about that. Intermediate is Walker Bissell. We're ready for the junior swine showman.
They didn't round it this year. Can we announce to have a car moved? It's right behind Drake's pickup, and I just am like, I just want to get the hell out of here when it's done, so.
We would also, we need to have a car moved, please. The license plate is KRA 107, Adams County. If you could please move your car, it's a red Chevy. Again, license plate KRA 107. Please move that vehicle.
It's right behind his pickup. So that way when this is done, he can roll.
Will he stay for pictures, do you think?
No, I thought, well, right, but we better be ready.
Yeah.
It sounded, he told me he would just like to go.
I don't blame him.
I don't
Yeah.
blame him. And I would
I
go.
admire him for you.
I know. I don't think I could have done this. Well, I texted him on a Friday, and I was like, if you can't, no. So he's like, it's fine. He's like, there's nothing I can do but sit there.
Where did you say it? Surgery.
Des Moines.
Moines. This is this direction.
Nice group of juniors here. I understand these would be maybe a lot of first-year kids. I don't exactly know what age qualifies you for the junior division, but I'm sure it's first year on up. And what are young impressionable minds out here? I guess my advice for all of you in this division is that if this is something you like and you want to do more than the county fair and maybe want to get out and learn more, I think there's a lot of opportunities out there. There's a baseball circuit within Iowa. We're everywhere there within the state, and plenty of opportunities for you to get out and show. I think maybe some showmen here that are maybe a little harder to piece together from a showmanship perspective, but oftentimes at this age they are. Maybe just don't quite have the grasp in terms of just how close in proximity they need to be to the judge. And oftentimes, if you're wandering out here and you're showing, about a good 10 feet radius, 7 to 10 feet, depending on the size of the ring, is what we're looking for in terms of showing me to every angle of your hog. It's something we need to see and prioritize within a showmanship contest. Just being present and allowing the judge to see you and study your hog, whether it's a good hog or a bad hog, is something that's going to rise you to the top awfully quick. And terms of showmanship. Consistency of most of these showmen has maybe just been a little bit spottier at times, but I think the one that showed me the best views and did so the most often, most of these showmen will be the young lady there on the far side with the blue blanketed hog and the green shirt. She'll go ahead and be your champion. That'll be the last time I come to the microphone today. Appreciate you guys having me out. Ring Health, you guys are awesome. We got 3 more shows to judge in the next 3 weeks, so if you want to give me your numbers, you can tag along. We can you guys did the job of 5 minutes.